Akshay, Deepak, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm very energetic and excited to be interacting with you.
Tell about yourself.
My name is Akshay Deepak. I'm a graduate from IIT Kharagpur from the Department of Ocean Engineering and Naval Architecture. I'm from Hyderabad.
Right.
My hobbies are playing and watching football and singing Bollywood songs. This is my third interview at the UPSC Civil Services examination.
Right. Akshay, you have done IIT Kharagpur and you have waited for 5-6 years to get into UPSC. What made you to puzzle so many years for UPSC?
It was indeed a very challenging task, but always I felt that there was a scope of improvement which I had to do in my preparation, and I didn't give my best. So I kept on improving towards that. And I think another factor was the internal motivation which I had towards civil services, where I thought this is a career which I see, it gives a sense of fulfillment to me in future, and this would decide the next 30 years of my life. So the next 2-3 years.
There are much better things in life than UPSC. Wasting time for UPSC preparation for 5 years.
Ma'am, I think this preparation has also taught me a lot. It is built in the value system, and no matter what, I'll not give up. It has, more importantly, has brought in the patience which is required. So it has transformed me as an individual, and I think it would be very helpful in the civil services.
Akshay, you have done your graduation in Ocean Engineering and Naval Architecture. Recently, a treaty was in news. High Seas Treaty.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? It very soon it will come into force. Sooner or later it will come into force. It is also called as an agreement on ocean biodiversity beyond national jurisdictions, or marine biodiversity beyond national jurisdictions. What is the object of this treaty?
It is famously called the High Seas Treaty. So the major objective is to protect the areas which are beyond the exclusive economic zone, that is beyond 200 nautical miles. So these are areas where a particular jurisdiction of a country does not apply, and these cover almost 60% of the Earth's surface, including like the major part is the water area.
Right.
And these call for various aspects in it. For example, it calls for marine protected areas. And secondly, it calls for environmental impact assessment when we harness the minerals which are existing. And thirdly, is related to the various aspects like the access and benefit sharing of the genetic resources which we get from the oceans.
Right. And also capacity building and technology transfer. This is also there. Okay. What is UNC LOS?
UNCLOS it is said to be the constitution of the sea. It has various laws which are existing. It shows the rights and responsibilities which are attached to particular nations.
What is exclusive economic zone?
Exclusive economic zone is the area which is marked through the shoreline to a space of 200 nautical miles. So there are various rights for a particular nation. For example, we can explore and harness the renewable energy, wave energy, ocean energy, and apart from that also the polymetallic nodules and other minerals.
Okay, what is Deep Ocean Mission?
Deep Ocean Mission is the mission by Ministry of Earth Sciences. It calls for harnessing and exploring the various minerals existing in the ocean. And apart from this also there are very varied objectives like ocean advisory services, as well as we having research and development in the deeper ocean.
Where did the Indian Institute of Oceanography located?
No, I am not aware of it.
Seriously?
Yes, ma'am.
Indian Institute of Oceanography. Okay, check it out.
Yes, ma'am.
So, at once during Chola period, India is considered as a naval power, but now we have lost slowly. Why?
Probably the events which have taken place after the Chola as well as the Maratha Empire, where we were under the impact of colonization. This has led to a lot of isolation of our culture as well as different sectors like economy, polity, and administration. So the British interests were kept at the forefront. This was one of the major factors. Immediately after independence too, we had many other developmental challenges like poverty, illiteracy. So we had to spend a lot of resources here, and we couldn't concentrate much on the shipbuilding sector and other aspects. So we were lacking on the land and regulation part, or the funding which was required for this, or the skill which was there. On the other hand, ma'am, the Western countries gained a lot here. They have given a lot of subsidies to the shipbuilding sector. For example, Japan, South Korea, China. They have played a very important role in this sector, and they have got a very good footprint. And right now, they are leading in that area.
How do you rate India's current naval power if you compare with other countries in the world globally?
I would say that India is in a work in progress right now. We are lacking in terms of few of the aspects. For example, the displacement associated with our aircraft carrier. We have 45,000 ton displacement, whereas USA has 1 lakh ton. And with respect to the number of frigates, destroyers, and corvettes. So here,
what is the difference between a frigate, destroyer, and a corvette?
Ma'am, firstly, a destroyer is, I think, mainly focused on wartime activities, and it has specialized stealth facilities and anti-ship, anti-submarine warfare. This is one of the major aspects related to destroyer. This is mostly restricted to the combat facilities. Whereas, ma'am, frigate can be used as combat and also other facilities like intelligence gathering or protecting the fleet. Like
recently, SSBN. What is SSBN?
Ma'am, semi-submersible ballistic nuclear. So this is in relation to the submarines which are there, ma'am. So India is also working towards the nuclear-powered submarines apart from the diesel-electric submarines.
I wish to know how the ships are being named. Some will be named after Ashoka, and named after persons. Some will be named after mountains, and some few ships will be named after big cities like INS Calcutta. How the ships are named?
Ma'am, they're classified based on the type of activities. For example, the destroyers which are there are given the INS Vishakhapatnam class, and the frigates are the INS Shivalik class. So some of them are attached to the regions which are there, and the others, for example, the diesel-electric submarines which we have.
What are the various types of submarines we have right now in India?
One is the conventional submarines, ma'am, which are diesel-electric powered, and the other is air-independent propulsion system. And on the other hand, we have the nuclear-powered submarines.
You have a hobby of singing Bollywood songs. Yes. Can you sing a song for us?
Yes, ma'am. Ye shaam mastani madhosh kiye jaan, mujhe dor koi khiche, teri or liye jaan.
What do you mean by that?
It means it's a wonderful evening which I have here, and madhosh kiye jaan means it feels very ecstatic and I'm out of my mind, and something is pulling me towards this event, and this is the major meaning of it.
What is the other hobby apart from Bollywood songs?
Ma'am, I play and watch football, ma'am.
Who is your favorite football player?
I really like Lionel Messi because the kind of achievements he has done, and the growth he has had in his career, in such a long career of 20 years.
Recently, who has won the FIFA World Cup?
It was Argentina.
Argentina. Who is your favorite player from Argentina in the recent cup?
Ma'am, I like Lionel Messi.
Messi.
Yes, ma'am.
So, can you compare with Messi with Maradona?
There were players of different eras. That is one, and I think Messi, who is there, he plays much also in very different roles. That is left wing, right wing, and false nine. And this is one of the major difference. Because Maradona is a striker, man. And apart from that, the other capabilities, like Maradona is good in the air, and his dribbling is very good, and he's also called the hand of God. So these are some of the differences which I can see. But majority of them, they play in a similar role, man.
Okay. You are from Telugu states, right? Recently, a Telugu song have won Oscar in the best original song category, but Bollywood song could not. But you love to sing Bollywood songs. Why?
Firstly, it's indeed a very pride moment for Indian cinema that Natu Natu has won the Oscars for the best original song, and that is one. And secondly, one of the major reason was that I moved to different places and I was exposed to Hindi and I took Hindi as my language in school.
You love it, Hindi?
Yes, ma'am. So I have an emotional connect, and that was a major reason I
So
decided to take Hindi.
where you are studying? Where is your schooling?
Ma'am, Hyderabad Public School.
Begumpet. Sri Chaitanya Junior Kalasala. You are also Chaitanya product.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So you have, after studying BTech in IIT Kharagpur, you opted to choose to write civil service examination, and you have done your BTech in ocean engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
What made you to choose anthropology as your optional?
Firstly, my graduation subject was not there. It was ocean engineering. Then secondly, ma'am, I was looking at the syllabus of various options, and anthropology is one which was I found it very interesting, especially the paper 2 partner, the society and the tribal part, and I delved more into it, and I felt very.
So from 2016 to 2023, from last 7 years, 6.5 years,
Yes,
you are into civils.
yes, ma'am.
So what made you, actually, why this gap? The question is, why you took so much of time?
One of the major reasons was like probably my strategy was wrong initially in some areas. But I worked towards that, ma'am, and this being my third interview, I'm kept on improving myself. There were some areas where I was lacking, so that I think that was one of the major reasons I didn't qualify.
Right. So you have opted Indian Foreign Service as 5th option.
Yes, ma'am.
Why? You want IAS first, IFS, Indian Police Service second, and third is what is the third option? Indian Revenue Service, and you prefer Revenue Service than Foreign Service. Why?
Ma'am, the only reason is I wanted to stay back home here in India. It feels very nice to have your family.
It won't be nice to stay for the country if you serve from outside.
Just that I wanted a different exposure, but I'm equally very interested in the Indian Foreign Service too. And I keep a close watch on the foreign affairs or the external affairs, the policy which are there, the current events which are there. And I'm really interested and I serve to the rest of my schedule.
India is leading G20 this year.
Yes, ma'am.
What should be the India's agenda this year to become at least a leader for the third world?
There are various aspects where India can indeed facilitate a dialogue and negotiation here. For example, firstly is related to the supply chain resilience which is there. It had severely impacted during the COVID as well as during the Russia-Ukraine war. It can call for its diversification. Secondly, ma'am, it can be a voice for the global south on various other issues like climate change, terrorism, sea level rise, the technology and finance required for fighting these climate changes and all these aspects. Thirdly is collaboration on the digital economy and other aspects related to cyber security and these things.
Okay. You are the recipient of Hemachandra Raut scholarship. Who is Hemachandra Raut?
It's very unfortunate. I tried calling the institute and finding out, but I couldn't find out who he is now. I need to further look into it.
You don't know?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Mentor in student welfare group. What did you mentor?
Ma'am, I was mentoring people or students in first and second, third year. Like, these are people who have usually just come out, who have just come into IITs and they do not know what exactly to do, and they have a lot of confusion or adjusting to the new culture in IIT. So I facilitate that. I ensure that they have easy access of me. I make them comfortable, give them some ideas and opinions on how to go about in their life, the various other committees which are there in the college.
Akshay, fully funded UARE summer internship in Canada. What is summer internship in Canada? Have you went to Canada?
Yes, ma'am. I was working as a research assistant there. So I got a project where I had to plot the temperature and salinity data across the west coast.
Who is Amritpal Singh?
He's an extremist leader who is a pro-Khalistani and is instigating the people and doing anti-national activities. So recently an NSA was also invoked against him.
Who was General Singh Bhindranwale?
Ma'am, Bhindranwale was again a pro-Khalistan leader during the 1980s movement. He was actively propagating it, and there was a lot of violence and chaos surrounding that. And he was getting a lot of support from the neighboring countries too, as according to various reports. So this is in brief about him.
Right. So, why there was so much of sympathy in Canada towards Khalistan movement?
It is firstly, it is very unfortunate that the foreign governments have not taken a strict or stern action against.
I'm asking why there is so much of sympathy in Canada, not about all foreign governments. I'm asking only about Canada.
Firstly, a lot of vote bank politics is being played in Canada. Around 1% of the population is from the Sikh community. This is one aspect. And secondly, ma'am,
do you have any political representation of Sikhs in Canada?
Yes, ma'am. There's a minister, Jagmeet Singh.
Okay, only one minister. Are you sure?
I'm not sure, ma'am, but I can recollect only one as of now.
Okay, how many days you stayed in Canada?
It was for around 3 months, ma'am.
Okay, you love to sing Bollywood songs.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever heard a song, Sayonara, Sayonara, Kalfirangi, Sayonara?
But I'm not able to recollect the name.
What is Sayonara?
I'm not able to recollect that.
Explain the recent trends in India-Japan relations.
There's a growing convergence between India and Japan relations. For example, Japan has recently launched an Indo-Pacific strategy which tells India as an indispensable partner. This is one aspect. And secondly, is related to the investment and the ODA assistance which Japan gives us in terms of the bullet train or the development of the Northeast region. And thirdly, can be said with respect to the technology corporation in various aspects like digital economy, cyber security.
Recently, Japanese Prime Minister Mr. Kishida have come to India, and there was some positive move, and which was really good. And I can say it's a good gesture on the part of Japan. Can you name it? What happened?
One is, I think, one is that our soft culture is reaching this area.
He has invited for G7 as a guest country, which is going to be held after 2 months in Hiroshima, in the city called Hiroshima. Okay, that's also, and there are so many things that has happened. Recently, Japanese Prime Minister visited, Australian Prime Minister visited, and various Prime Ministers visited. So you are from Telangana?
Yes, ma'am.
From which state, from which district of Telangana?
Hyderabad.
You like. So now tell me, why Hyderabad and Secunderabad are called twin cities?
Ma'am, probably because of the cultural similarities which is existing.
Okay.
And the geographical proximity to.
What are the dissimilarities?
Ma'am, firstly is related to the kind of economic activities which are there.
No?
I need to further look into it. I'm so sorry.
You are born and brought up in Hyderabad. You have studied in Hyderabad Public School, and you have very good alumni. And you should know by this time difference between Hyderabad and Secunderabad.
One thing I can recollect is like there's a lot of defense establishments in Secunderabad. So that is one aspect. Near.
What is Lashkar Nagar concept in Hyderabad?
I'm not able to recall right now, but I need to further look into it.
Right. Akshay, how many attempts you gave in civil services?
This is my 6th attempt.
How many more attempts you want to give, if at all you wish to give? If you fail in this attempt, will you give next attempt?
My heart and mind is always at civil services. I would
Why?
like to give.
Why it is at civil services?
This is one thing which I wanted to do in life since a long time, and I find a sense of.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
No, for me personally, it is totally worth it because it depends on an individual preference, and this is where I see my future, and I can the leadership capabilities or the personality I am can be very well suited in the civil services.
But you know, Akshay, after listening all your answers, I'm sure that you are going to be IAS this year.
Thank you.
Okay.
I hope your words come true.
Thank you. Your interview is over. Thank you.